Hello, 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 and good morning. I'm on a little bit early. Just wanted to get myself set up. Welcome on in. I am doing well. Let's see. I'm just getting things set up for a bit of a walkthrough that we're going to do this morning. I feel like I'm starting to get the handle on how this works in terms of just being here and not doing much because that's the auto clip that appears on the video. So one of mine shows me taking a drink of water, which was lovely. Okay, we got about 2 more minutes and then we will get started. I've got quite a bit of things to discuss first, and then we will get right into the 20 featured stories. And then I have to get to work on putting everything together because I did not get to do that yesterday like I normally would. It's just been a busy weekend. Um, Huge storm rolling in, so I did not get to have everything preemptively done. So I just finished doing all of the medallions, so those are done. I have to label them though. And then I had to, so now I have to do the PDF and then the post when that email or when this video is ready for me, and then I can send that email out to everyone, hopefully by um, noon today. All right, so we've got about another minute to give anyone else who might want to come in a chance, and we will get started. I did the thing where I don't send an email, but you should get a notification to your phone if you have Substack on your phone. I'm still working out which way is better to let people know that I've gone live. I'm hoping it becomes such a normal, regular thing that people just see it's 10 a.m. Eastern time wherever they are, and they're like, okay, she's about to go live. Let me go to the app on my phone and get ready. So I'm not expecting these early days to be jam packed with people. I expect this video is going to be watched once I send the email. Let me close this. Okay, so let's get started. Hello and welcome to Top in Fiction Weekly Live. This is the third week of January. Can't believe we've done 3 weeks already. Um, it's pretty amazing, especially when you consider the fact that in 3 weeks we have already featured and had honorable mentions for 75 different fiction writers. That's pretty sweet. And so next week we will have featured 100, which is even more awesome. But anyway, I've got one, two, three, four, five things that I want to bring up before I get into the reason why most of you are here, which is to hear who the 20 featured stories and writers of those stories are for week number 3. I want to start by sharing my screen actually. So let me flip my camera around. I'm going to back up a bit. Uh, let's back up a bit. Sorry for my Messy desk. Let's tilt this back up. Okay, so one of the things I wanted to show because I get this question. Let me just move all my tissues out of here. I get this question a lot is what to do with the medallions that we get every week. And so I wanted to do a short run through of that. So this is me on looking at the post from week number 2. Now, typically you would come here, you would see all of the stories. And then if you were featured, if you're listed up here, um, honorable mentions don't get a medallion. But if you're featured up top, then that means you have a medallion to get. And so what you would do is you would click here where it says download your medallions. Right here it says featured writers, download your medallions. So you would just click here and this is where it's going to show you all of the medallions, all 20 of them. And you would literally just look for your name. In this case, I'm just going to use Daniel as an example. So you can either highlight it and then come over here and click the download button, or you can double click it to open it to make sure everything looks right. And then on the top right, which just move over. So up here on the top right, you would see this download button and you would click download and it will download that image wherever you get images downloaded. Okay, so mine downloaded. Now, what do you do with that image? So in this case, um, what what Daniel could do or anyone else can do is you would go back to your story where your story is on Substack. So in this case, um, let's see. I don't know if Daniel did it, but we can check and see if he did. You would add it here. So you would come back to your post. You would click edit. You would edit the post. Usually you could do it if you click the three dots. You would have the option to edit your post, and then you could put it at the top or at the bottom, wherever the case may be. Um, And so I just wanted to give a little brief walkthrough of how you can take the medallion and what you can do with it. Now, something else you can do with it, if you choose, is you could go to your about page, your profile page. So go to your publication. So in this case, let's come here to this one, and you could just go to um, your Substack, and then you would have this about page. So if you go to yours, you can either do it this way, and then you would have a little edit button, or you could go to your dashboard, go to your settings, and then from your settings, you could search for editing your about page. And anywhere here, you can add that medallion. And then what you do is you would turn that medallion into a clickable link. And the way you would do that, I can show you. I will actually show you on this post as an example. So if you're in a post that you have created, you're editing it and you're going to add the medallion to it. In this case, let's pretend this banner here, Top in Fiction, is the medallion that you just added. If you click on it so that it's got this little bounding box, you would go up to the top to the top bar where you have the option. It's a little paper clip situation here when you hover over it. Right here it says link. So you would click that and then it shows you down here now create a link. This little box here over this image. Copy and paste your story um, where that medallion links to. In here, click link. And then now, every time someone's in your about page and they click on that medallion, because they're like, oh, you got a medallion for this story, let me read it. They click on it, it will take them right to your story where they will be able to read it and understand why you got the medallion and hopefully they'll like it as well, etc. So putting that in your about page is a good idea. Also, putting it in your welcome page is also another place where you can put um, your medallion. So the choice is yours as to where you want to put it. Put it within the story to show that that story itself got featured. Okay, I'm gonna flip back to myself, and then you could also put it Again, in your About page, if you want to point people directly to that story, turn the image into a clickable link to the story, or in your welcome email as well for your publication. Those are three different ways that you can um, use your medallion, what you could do with it. You could also obviously do anything else you want with it. You could share it on social media, also linking back to your story. Um, I'm sure there's a bunch of other ways, but those are the three main ways that I've seen people use it, and that it, really works. And that's what it's made for. It's to just put it out there, turn it into a clickable link, point it back to your story. There you go. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about now is I want to do a brief reminder about TIFF Presents. It's the very first Top in Fiction Presents, where we're actually going to have fiction that you can read within Top in Fiction. It'll be our first time doing it. The first one we're doing is for Valentine's Day. The theme is Return to Sender. And the idea is you could create a Valentine's Day card, you could create a poem, you could write a short story, um, whatever the case may be, you could add, you could create whatever you want. And then there is a button to submit. I will include that button in today's email as well. It is, or it was in last week Monday's email, where you can submit. You have until July 31st, so you have 11 more days. You have till the end of the day, July 31st, to get that submitted. And then on July 14th, the email will go out to everyone where myself and Meg Olders will select our favorites, and let you know which ones are our favorites. And we'll also share with you who all the other ones were as well. Um, and whether you're selected as a favorite or not, we are suggesting that you go ahead on your own and post your story on February 14th, and we will link back to it. So whether it was selected as a favorite or just one that you submitted, we will link back, or I will make sure that we link back to all of the submissions that we receive. But the favorites you will be able to read within Top and Fiction on February 14th. I'm so excited to be doing TIFF Presents, to be having that be something new that we add to Top and Fiction in 2025, and to have some really awesome hosts and sponsors coming up in the future. Okay, next, I want to talk about the Top in Fiction rebrand. So I had a meeting, a second meeting actually, with Mark of the brand. And if you're not familiar with him or his work, Chris is responsible for the Dark Tidings that took place back in December for the um, 12 Days of Christmas. So if you recall, in and around Substack, there were these 12 amazing horror stories that came out that were done for the 12 Days of Christmas. The theme was Dark Tidings, and each story was represented by um, an image that was created by Mark of the brand. I reached out and asked if he would be on board with creating and helping me rebrand Top in Fiction to get a better logo, better word mark, um, better everything, because I do have huge, huge plans for Top in Fiction. He was working on it for the last couple of weeks. He showed it to me for the first time what his idea was, and I was floored. So it's looking so amazing. And I hate to ask people to donate all the time, but in order for me to do the things that I really, really, really want to do, um, I, unfortunately, I really, really need the funding to do it. And one of the main things that I want to be able to put the funding that I receive from you guys towards is this rebrand. Um, and so any help that you can be, anything that you can give, $5, $10, whatever amount you can give, it's all coming together. Now that brings me right into the next topic. And let me jump back real quick. Um, I do want to show you what he's been working on, but he and I both decided to wait until it was done and ready. So once it's done, we do plan on showing the process to how we got to what the rebrand will look like. and give all that behind the scenes stuff that we know people love to see and love to do. And I might even, go live and have him come on and maybe walk you guys through what that process was of he and I working together, because it is something that he's looking to do in his own business and open to other people within the Substack community or outside of it. And so I want to be able to show what he's able to do to help him get, hopefully some more clients, and show you guys what the new brand will hopefully look like, um, provided I'm able to afford it. Okay, so now I want to move into the TIFF scholarship, the Top in Fiction scholarship, which is something that I mentioned in um, almost like whispered tones at the end of last year. Okay, so here's what's happening. I did get a lot of people donating when I did the um, the Top in Fiction annual recap last week, which, by the way, went great. There were almost 50 people, I think, who showed up for that. I was um, overwhelmed and humbled by um, the outcome, the outpouring of support. Got so much. So I'm hoping to hand out the first set of scholarships to people in um, March. So that would be the end of Q1. I'm trying to keep this in a quarterly thing. So just to organize myself. So next week, the first week of February, when I come and do this live, I will give you more information, such as the type of options for what's going to be available for scholarships to be given, and the vetting process, the how to be vetted to receive um, a scholarship in March that will be given out. So, um, if you're serious about publishing your work, publishing your fiction in any way, shape, or form, or you need a little help to get you to the point where you want to be serious about it, um, you will want to make sure that you put your hat in the ring to receive certain funding and certain scholarships that I'm hoping to start giving out in March. Okay, lastly, tying the rebrand and the scholarship together into one nice little bow is difficult because it's all very expensive. And so I've been talking about making donations. You guys have been giving me donations, but I have said very little about how much I need and how much I've received. And I want to know from you guys if you're comfortable with me divulging that information. I know how people are about money. They're okay with giving it, but sometimes they get a little squirmy when they see it written down. But I want to be as open as and transparent as possible. So in today's email, when I send it, there will be a poll at the bottom of the email. Please, please, please answer the poll, and it's a simple one. I want to know, do you want me to tell you, one, how much I need literally to do both the rebrand and to give out certain scholarships, and two, how much I've received? And when I say, do you want me to tell you, it will be something that I will give you an update on maybe once every 2 weeks or once a month. I won't be, I'm not going to give it to you every day just because it's a lot for me to do, but I am more than willing to tell you how we're doing. So almost, I don't want to say it would be like a GoFundMe situation, but it would be something where, um, you know, once every couple of weeks, I would tell you this is the goal that I was looking to raise, and this is how close we've come to that goal. And then when I start giving out scholarships, etc., I would tell you monetarily, giving you actual numbers. This is what was given, and this is how much that costs to give it. And so, if you want me to do that, I need you to voice your opinion on that by answering the poll of a simple yes or no. That will be in today's email, because I want to be as open and transparent about how much I'm being given. Obviously, I'm not going to divulge names of who gave and how much each person gave. That's not the point. The point is just to let you know this is how much was received, and this is where that money would be going or will be going when I hit certain goals. And that's why I'm doing it this way to try to be as open and transparent as possible, um, with you and with the community. Okay, so I think that was all the discussion topics I have for today. It was actually more than I thought. Now I'm going to move on to the fun part, which is the part where I announce the 20 featured stories and writers who wrote them. Okay. Here we go. Starting with poetry. Crow's Feet by writer Pilgrim by So Elite. A Part by John Calvin. Sonnet by Iris Shaw. Travelers by Caro Henry. Micro slash flash fiction. The Body in the Book Drop by Maisie Archer. Short stories. Memento Mori by E.J. Trask. The Visionaries by Georgina Bruce. Reliance by Eric Van Meter. Moquerie de la Mer. The Mockery of the Mother by Spencer D. W. Winter by Jennifer James. Finding Sasha by Rostislava Pankova-Karadjova. Series of Dreams by Elie Lichtschein. Stella by Cobol. The Big Screen by Thomas Foydel. Lightbulb by J.J. Walker. The Box by Jean Marie Bauhaus. Short Serial. The Silenced Part 4 by Chris Patrick. Serials. The Long Quiet by Anthony Lee Phillips. Prisoners on the Beagle, Episode 3 by Chris Lynch. Circulation Density, Flux, Chapter 1 by Julie Gabrielli. Okay, guys, that was all 20 featured stories this week. As I said, look for the email in the next 90 minutes to 2 hours. I will be sending that out. Don't forget to answer the poll question at the bottom. It's very important. Thank you all for watching. I will see you again next week, Monday. In the meantime, this Friday, I want to do a special um, mention of this, and I meant to do it during the discussions, but I'll do it at the end. I know that there are some people who choose not to share their story every Friday in Friday's email where the choices are made. And I want to plead with you not to do that. Please, please share your story in that Friday email because there are people who go back and look at them. I can only feature 20 stories and then 5 honorable mentions. But in each Friday email, I could get upwards of 50 or more recommendations in there. And the readers of this email, the subscribers know this. And so they will go back and look and find more stuff to read. If your story is not there, how can they find it? So I understand if you feel like if I'm not selected for Monday every single week, then what's the point? The point is this whole thing is done so you can be found. And there are more than one ways to be discovered through top and fiction. And one of the huge and easy ways for you to do it is to put yourself in the send us your fiction email that goes out every Friday. So please make sure you get yourself on there because you will find that you will get new subscribers whether or not you're in this Monday email. Yes, the Monday email is awesome. Yes, you get a medallion for that, but I can't give one to everyone. I can't select everyone, but you can select yourself by putting yourself in that Friday email. So, whether or not you get featured on Monday, you get chosen on Monday, is irrelevant. Please, if you have a story, if you wrote it that week, make sure you put it in those Friday emails because they're very important. I do lock them for a reason. They are open for those 48 hours for a reason. Please make sure you get your story in there so that people can find you later. Okay? Hopefully that plea resonates with all of you. And if you're writing your stories, you're putting them in there. Pass that message along. In the meantime, have a safe week. It's cold out there. It's cold here where I am. Keep yourself safe. Stay warm. Stay healthy. And I will see all you guys next week. Look for my email in a couple of hours. Bye.